Hi folks, this is a video just to help those who are a little unsure of what to do uh, with Cornell notes. And if you're in algebra, just ignore the Math 8 thing. Same for both classes. Alright, so when I give a video, and this is all new for both of us, so bear with me. When I give a video, hopefully I write the topic and the learning target on the first video you're supposed to watch. If I forget to write a topic, that's something you can make yourself. Hopefully by the time you're watching all the videos, you can say what it is the videos were about. It's different from the summary. The summary is a lot more in depth. The topic is just a couple words. The learning target, though, you do not make that up if I don't write it. If I don't write it, you can yell at me later and just I'll write it on the board for everyone to write in later. But hopefully both of those things would be in there. You definitely want your name. I can't tell you how many notes I find on the floor, and I would love to give it back to the person who wrote it, but there's no name on it. And then your block I'm not as concerned about, but it's just nice to have everything filled out. You have plenty of time when you're sitting there waiting for your video to load to write your block. And then the date. The date is going to help you more than anyone else. If you drop your notes and they're all scattered about, you just put them in order from the first date to the last date, and you're set. Alright, so the notes, this is the main section you want to write your notes in. If we ever do anything where it involves a graph and you have to be precise, and you might realize you have to be precise a couple, attempts into the video, that's why you use a pencil, then get a piece of graph paper. Hopefully you have some graph paper at home that you can use, because I don't want to see people making their own graphs and then plotting their own points and then trying to count with their weirdo graph. If you just have to do a quick sketch just to illustrate an idea, this is totally fine to do that. But otherwise, get some graph paper and a ruler. If you don't have a ruler, you can use anything that has a straight edge, like a piece of junk mail, piece of cardboard, something, as long as cereal box. Doesn't really matter as long as you can make a straight line with it. Like I said, you should always use pencil, because you might erase something halfway through. You might want to reorganize the way you wrote your notes. I've seen a lot of people do some strange things with the way they pack in their notes. I would much rather see 2 pages of nice space between examples than someone who packs in one example, blocks it in, packs in the other example, blocks it in, packs in one more example up here, blocks it in. It's very hard to read. It's very hard for you to go back and read. So instead, example 1, even leave a space, write your example. Try to stay within the lines. Don't do something like this, where you're using 3 lines to make 1 sentence. The questions. This is probably more useful now that you're doing this away from me than it was in class. In class, you might write something here that you didn't have time to ask me or didn't feel like asking me in front of everyone. But most of the time, people just raise their hand and ask me a question if they had one. So this has 2 purposes. You're going to write things that you actually want to know the answer to. It could even be, why are we doing this? But hopefully it's more specific, like what happens if a transversal cuts through 3 parallel lines, or something like that. What happens then? Or it could be a question that you just found out the answer to and you're worried you're going to forget it. Or I said in the video, hey, this is going to be on a test, and you want to write the question over here so that you can study from it. And the question should be next to where the answer is, or where the potential problem area is if it's an answer you don't know. Alright, getting to the bottom of the notes here, let's scan down. The summary. Something we're not always great about doing in class, but it is going to be a requirement. It's going to be something we talk about in class every day. So what I want you to do at the end of the notes, every time you take notes away from class, is that you take those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos, however many videos there are for that lesson, and you're going to write a nice summary, 3 or 4 sentences, and it's something we'll talk about in class, possibly get a grade for in class.